Louise Upston.
Tēnā koe te mana whakawā, tēnā koe te whare. Tēnā koutou nā iwi rangatira Ngāti Manuhiri. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Nō kotarana aku tupuna, engari I tepu ake a hau I tamaki makaurau. Kei te noho o ki karapiro. Ko mangatautari te maunga, ko waikato te awa. Ko Louise Upston a hau, te member Paramata mō taupo. Welcome, welcome, welcome and congratulations on this momentous occasion. I echo the words of my colleagues bar one in the celebration that we have here for you today. So welcome to Parliament. This is a day I know that your people will remember forever. And this is another day in this Parliament under the very wise and strong leadership of Minister Finlayson where we are able to conclude Treaty of Waitangi negotiations, which for some I know when the purchase of the land was done in 1841 without any consideration or reference to you, that's where the hurt started, back in 1841. And so we stand in this Parliament in the year 2012 to conclude, to correct, to make amends for that. And Mr Speaker, I do want to just echo some of the comments that my colleagues have made around the people who have made this possible. And I do want to acknowledge Sir Douglas Graham, because I think to have started a conversation in 2009 and to be here, some 3.5 years later for the third reading of a bill is definitely the shortest time frame I've witnessed. And I think more importantly it also provides some confidence, it provides some guidance for those that are following in your footsteps who have yet to settle. And I think that you as the people of Ngāti Manuhiri have really set a magnificent example of when two parties are willing and able, how well, how efficiently and how in a short time frame you can conclude an agreement, and it is that. And I do want to just take a very brief moment to say that I'm sorry that this day is marred and it won't be a unanimous vote in the House for support for this bill. I'm deeply saddened by that. It's the first time I've seen it since my time in Parliament, because I believe the two parties in this agreement have reached an agreement. We wouldn't be here today otherwise if you hadn't. And so I want to just put on record my frustration with the Green Party in marring this day for this House and for you. One of the things that's really important with the conclusion of treaty settlements, of which we've now done 22, is the ability to put the past behind us. But equally I know that that past will never be forgotten. And one of the things that's been very evident for me in my time as a Member of Parliament is how poorly understood some people have a poor understanding about the history that leads to these settlements. And to use a phrase from one of my Select Committee colleagues, who on a bill a couple of weeks ago spoke about ignorant Pākehā. And at the time I was a bit offended. But actually I think on reflection, it's quite accurate that there are a lot of Pākehā New Zealanders who don't understand your past, don't understand why we have these settlements, don't understand the hurt that's been caused. And I think equally it's every one of us in this House have a responsibility to make sure that more New Zealanders understand how important the treaty settlements are for all of us, for you particularly today, but actually to all of us as New Zealanders. I want to just also reflect on the Select Committee process, because there were a large number of submissions for this as a treaty bill, and I acknowledge the Chair of the Select Committee, the Honourable Tau Henare, for navigating that process as well as he did. And it was also fair to say that there was, opposing views, which is what happens when you have a submission process, and the fact that there clearly was some tension is, I think, also to be acknowledged, because that has an impact on the community. And in my own electorate of Taupō, we have a settlement that's underway at the moment where there has been a lot of friction in the community, and it's good to be able to say this is settled, there is agreement, and we can move forward together. So, Mr. Speaker, I don't want to go through the details of the settlement because they have been covered in some detail. But I want to come back to the comment I made about the fact that there's often a lack of understanding about what the settlement means. And some people, fix on the financial redress alone. And although we've seen with the settlements in the 1990s just how beneficial that is, actually it is often the cultural redress that is far more important to the people of the land. And I particularly just want to acknowledge that I believe in your care. You have some of the most beautiful and spectacular coastlands in New Zealand, and the role that you've played for many years in the Hauraki Gulf and the protection of some very, very important parts of New Zealand also needs to be acknowledged. Often when we have these conversations, some people in the community think that when an island is part of a settlement, that all of a sudden they won't get access. So, of course, with Little Barrier Island, it's acknowledged that the access arrangements that are already in place will continue. So, Mr. Speaker, I do just want to say that this is a day we should be celebrating. This is a day that we all have a responsibility to share with our communities that this is another successful treaty settlement and why it's important for each and every one of us. So congratulations. I'm delighted that so many of you are here to share this day, and I shall definitely share it with my family when I get home, because I think it's an important part of all of our history. Nō reira.
I call the Honourable Shane